What are the real challenges that people have in the industry today that revolve around, delivery of parts and supplying documentation and part history? What are some of the challenges that we have in the industry today?
One challenge is that you need to have the documentation if you have the parts on stock, if you want to sell them, or if you want to use them. You need to have the documentation, and you need to be sure that it's the real unchanged original document, which is not very easy to do. And all this documentation requires a lot of work, which is normally not seen because it's taking place in the background. The handling of the paper, the archiving, the copying, and so on. For example, we have figures from the industry that one major aerospace manufacturer has costs of more than 25 million euro every year simply for the handling of this paperwork. You wouldn't believe that, but it's a fact.
Yeah, Bill, I have personally traveled the world and visited airlines and OEMs and MROs all around the world. And my personal observation over the last few years is that maybe 90% of the work that's being done today is really still being done in paper. But I was at a conference last week in Miami, and one of the presenters who's very knowledgeable on the industry, he said that 64% of the airlines and MROs out there today don't think they will be digital in their paperwork by 2023, 2024. And so, that's another independent evaluation that says that somewhere between 65 and 90% of the people out there are handling paper every single day on a routine basis. So, I can obviously see that this is a big challenge that exists in the industry. Yeah.
We are very well connected to organizations like ICAO, IATA, EASA, and so on. And there was a workshop, maybe October last year or so, where ICAO had this workshop asking the industry, what is what is your priority for the time to come? And digitalization of the quality documentation was the #1 priority out of the maybe 10 priorities. And that was really exciting. Of course, to need it and to implement it are two different things, but this is definitely the moment to do it.
Yeah, I would agree. Just a couple of years ago, I did some presentations in other countries where we were talking about the remaining challenges to implementation of digital. And one of them at that time is that the approval by the regulators. And they weren't really completely accepting this. But over the last 2 years, really, the world has changed, and everybody recognizes that digital is an essential, critical part of everything that we do. And we have seen really a massive movement in the direction of digital and implementation of many areas, including, records. Now, Bill, with the emergence of technologies, cloud making documents readily accessible, and the emergence of technologies like blockchain, what kind of opportunities does that really present for us to bring those things together? What are your thoughts on that? Why did you think about, hey, we could create a hybrid kind of an approach to doing something like this?
Let me go one step back before I answer this question. Of course, to introduce this into the aerospace industry required the legislators or the organizations that set the technical standards to acknowledge it. So one thing we did in the very beginning, together with a number of partners from the industry, we made a norm that allows to use these digital information instead of paperwork. That was very important, and also FAA and EASA have made this commitment. It's definitely possible to replace digital information, or to replace the paper with the digital information. And as I said, at this moment, we are working on an even further norm with SAE. So it is becoming industrial standard now. And why have we selected to use blockchain technology with it? First of all, the integrity of the documents is one of the most important aspects. Also, in 30 years from now, you want to make sure you have the original document. you want to make sure when it goes through the supply chain that the original document has never been modified. There has nothing been taken away from it. And, you know, since I'm in this business for more than 35 years, I have seen a lot. We all have seen a lot with Kobe Steel. We have seen a lot with other names I won't mention now because they've never become public. There were some real loopholes. There were some flaws in the present process used by several companies. Now, with the use of this very secure blockchain technology, this is finished. No, you cannot modify anything. You always have the original. And let me say, we are using the blockchain in a way that we call it green blockchain technology, that we don't put all the paperwork there because it would be high energy consuming. We use a more intelligent method than that.
Yeah.
And
you know, Bill, I'd like to dig in a little bit deeper on what it is that you're doing to help solve these challenges in the industry. In order to be able to show that, we have a brief video that I want to show that just sets up our conversation. And so I'm going to go ahead and run that quick video. And for those of you watching, it's just a very short video. Please watch it. And then we're going to have some really interesting follow-up discussion about what they're doing to create success in solving this digital, challenge and actually having accurate historical records and documentation that's secured by the blockchain. So don't go away. Watch this video and come right back.
When I started school about 65 years ago, we wrote on tablets. They were called blackboards. Today, I still write on the tablet. The aerospace supply company that I bought 35 years later wrote their documents on paper and still does so today. The chalk pens that we used at school to write on the tablets are history now, and so is what has been written at that time. But what I write today on this tablet is stored in the cloud. I can share it, I can retrieve it. And that's a standard technology today. Today in the aerospace industry, which is so modern and innovative, people still use paper like they did at the time when I went to school. Countless shelves, basements, archives, secure and less secure ones, are filled with paper for long-time quality documentation. We have done something about that with my company, which is located in the digital Silicon Valley, Estonia. We have turned those paper documentation into digital, blockchain-secured archiving. The platform that we have created is called CertTrace, and it stores all those important documents in the cloud. It secures them by blockchain technology, and those documents can be retrieved only with a little QR code. And behind that QR code, everything is there. This technology can save the aerospace industry about 80 million euros per year, just in Europe. Worldwide, it is much more. This digitalization has a top priority in the aerospace industry, and it opens a very new development. From data graveyard to data soil, the documents that are stored digitally can be data humus for innovation to come. Now we are going the first step with digitalization, and the next step will be to use this digitalization for much more than just archiving as it is today.